All right, we are live.
Sorry about the bad words there. So this new Apollo Solo interface puts my headphones on the right-hand side where I don't like them, and the cord is kind of dragging across in my lap. When I got up, I caught my foot on the headphones, and the reason I was swearing was because what I was trying to do was continue in my forward motion because gravity was insisting on it without pulling my laptop off the desk. And so the laptop is connected via Thunderbolt to the Apollo Solo. So when I was pulling on the cord for the headphones, it was pulling the Apollo Solo, which was pulling my Mac off of my desktop. And by desktop, a physical desk. So I was kind of falling and trying not to pull everything off the desk at the same time and not rip the headphones, break the headphones. These headphones, man, they've taken a beating.
And they keep on ticking.
That's why the swearing, and I apologize for that. But luckily we weren't live on the air when that happened. Well, we were not recorded at least.
Yeah, I don't know if the MagSafe would have helped her. This wasn't power. This was the audio jack, audio cord.
The headphones, and they were into... What are you doing? You're making all kinds of racket.
My mic. I had to adjust it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, should I get started with some roll call here?
You bet.
Looks like we got Alan and Jason and Jill and Mike and Rick and Sandy and Steve and Michael. And who's in our sidebar over here? Looks like Aaliyah is here again. And keep going. Let's see, who do I think's really here? Oh, there's Mike Price
Ian?
again.
I think Ian.
Where's Ian?
He's in the sidebar?
Ian is there.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, Ian, he might be playing games.
And JF? I don't see JF.
And me, JF says, where are you, JF?
He's in the sidebar. He's just not in the live chat. Live chat listen.
There he is. Yeah, he's not in live chat listen. So somebody needs to type to him if he wants to hear.
Well, he's probably listening to YouTube.
He might be. Let's see. And Frank. Sorry, Frank.
Now, there's a T-Bear, Tara. I don't know if she's listening. Yeah.
Oh, is that... I think I've heard of Tara before. Listening to YouTube
I said
video.
she. I just assume. Could be he.
Oh, I think so. All right. And JF Brissett is there.
Welcome, all. You did get Frank, right? He pulling up the rear?
I did.
All right.
Just barely rolling up to the end there. All right. See, we need to arm a track. We need to put an intro. And we
Sandy says T-Bear has been there before.
Oh. T-Bear. Is it really T-Bear? It is T-Bear with lots of E's. Every other chord she comes here. All right. Let me do a quick test recording. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com.
Well, wait.
Tell me if you can hear playback.
I didn't know it.
Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast. Sorry, Steve.
Frank O'Carroll, was he in your...
Frank is in Slack.
Welcome, Frank.
I haven't seen Frank in I don't think Frank's been in a live show before.
So morning, everyone. He must be in Australia or New Zealand or Japan.
Ooh.
Good morning, Frank. Tokyo, yes.
Tokyo. Oh, wow. So Michael Westbay is here, and he's from Japan also.
Yeah. Is Michael in Tokyo?
The high Japanese contingent. I forget where Michael is.
Michael, are you in Tokyo?
He'll tell us. I've never heard the origin story of your theme. Well, it's called Midnight Dialogue Long from GarageBand's GarageBand. So.
I wonder if that's still available. I mean, as
a loop.
Yeah, that's where we got it.
Yep, that one's been there for a while. Nothing imaginative.
Michael's from Yokohama.
And that's a little south. Okay.
A little south of Tokyo.
I'm terrible at geography. Terrible.
Well, you knew both of them were in Tokyo or in Japan.
Well, that reminds me of he's in Japan.
It reminds me of Rod and the SMR guys.
Oh yeah, we're what was it? Chris said something like Alabama and a couple of other countries.
Right. Alabama just became a country.
All right. So, yes, Slack. I do Slack. What do you say? So Slack now. Let's see. Did Sandy or Jill set? Let's see. I got a chat message over in. There it is. Thank you. I will bring that up with any luck after Jill's thing. Okay, I should probably get started. What do you think, Steve?
I think it's a good idea.
Muting Steve. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, September 13th, 2020, and this is show number 801. Well, in this week's Chit Chat Across the Pond, Bart and I start our second century of programming by stealth, or as Bart puts it, what sounds like the introductory class, because it's PBS 101. We've turned the corner and completely... Okay, stop. Start over. I usually do more intro than that, but I might as well go ahead and do my chapter mark while I'm there. So Kevin, who's holding down Kevin's job? Okay, why am I'm not hearing you, Steve. I think you're muted.
Ah.
There you go.
Usually Rick when Kevin's not here. So Rick, are you willing to step up tonight? Yep, he's up for it.
To do.
Good.
Okay, good. Got your text expander snippets ready? All right. Let me try this again. In this week's Chit Chat Across the Pond, Bart and I start our second century of programming by stealth, or as Bart put it, what sounds like the introductory class, because it's PBS 101. We've turned the corner and completed everything we wanted to accomplish with JavaScript, and we're starting a new section about version control. In this rather philosophical introductory episode, Bart first explains why you want version control, and in a nutshell, it's so that you can experiment, abandon an idea, and roll back to where you started that crazy idea. After giving us the problem to be solved, he explains the history of the original version control systems and how we've evolved to a more flexible model that has been adopted by both the open source community as well as by big companies. This episode is a bit of a teaser because we don't actually get to start doing any work with version control, but I found it really interesting. If you didn't want to jump into programming by stealth partway through the JavaScript portion, now is a great time to start learning along with us. We also have a call out to listeners to help us come up with a new project. Version control will only be fun to learn if we have some code to control. We've gone pretty far with our clocks, and polishing them could even maybe be more fun, but I'm betting we could get some new ideas for some fun web app that we should try to build. Think of maybe an itch you want scratched. Maybe you aren't even taking programming by stealth, but you have an idea for a web app that you wish existed. Anybody can throw out ideas, so help us come up with a fun thing to build. You can give us that by, well, let's see, the best place to do it would be to join our Slack community at podfeet.com/Slack and put it in the PBS channel. We'll get a little more conversation about Slack in a few minutes. Anyway, you can subscribe to Programming by Stealth in your podcatcher of choice, and of course, read Bart's amazing tutorial show notes over at pbs.bartificer.net. Here we go. Yeah, it's interesting starting version control after we've been programming for so long, but it's sort of like you have to understand what problem you need to solve, so you have to be a developer first to understand why you really want version control. But we need something to build. Save now, Master Steve and Wingman Kevin command it. Nice. You might want to screenshot that for Kevin, Steve, so that he knows that Rick was on his game here.
Yes.
All right. I don't think I'm going to do a chapter for the Apple announcement, but because there's nothing terribly interesting there. Or it'll be interesting, but not necessary to bookmark. I should be on Do Not Disturb about for 1 hour. All right. Here we go. This coming Tuesday, the 15th of September at 10 a.m. Pacific time, Apple's having another one of their announcements. And you know that means many NosillaCastaways will be giddy with excitement. If you have time to join Steve and me and the other NosillaCastaways during the announcement, we'd love to chat live with you about what's cool, what's lame, how bored we are during the game segment, and what we can't afford or what we wish they'd announced. If you can do that, you could join us in our Discord chat at podfeet.com/chat. This is the same chat room where we yak with the listeners while I'm creating the NosillaCast and the live show. But unlike the live show, during these announcements, we will not be interrupting the show with Steve and my audio and video. For once, I get to chat with the audience while Tim Cook has to do the entertaining. I hope to see a lot of you there. After the announcement on Wednesday, where I'm going to be... Wrong cadence, wrong on the syllable there. On Wednesday, after the announcement, Lori Gill will be joining me again on Chit Chat Across the Pond Light to talk about all the new toys. She is such a joy to hang out with. I think I'm actually looking forward to that even more than the announcements themselves. All right, chapter mark. I think I might need move my sensor. My lights are going on and off.
Can you set a duration for that?
Yeah, I've got it set to 5 minutes, but you would think that it would notice that I'm a little bit, moving around. Maybe not. All right. Let's talk about Screencasts Online. Here we go. Last month, I wrote up all of the reasons that I think Telegram is a better messaging app than Apple Messages. After I finished that article, I decided to make a tutorial on Telegram for Screencasts Online. This turned out to be quite a bit of a challenge to do in a way that didn't reveal the private information being conveyed to me in Telegram by my friends and family, because I use it all the time. It turns out your Telegram persona is tied directly to your phone number, but you can choose to only reveal your handle to people on the service, so people don't see your phone number if you don't want them to. I realized that I could use my trusty Google Fi cell card with a different number and a different handle or a different name in Telegram. One of the best features of Google Fi is that I can pause service for 3 months at a time and then pause it again and again and again. Just every 3 months, you have to just go in and say pause, and I only pay for it when I need it. Google Fi costs are prorated by how many days in a month you use it, and I only needed to turn it on for a few days to set up Telegram. That's because you only need that phone number active long enough to install the app and sign in on each device after receiving the SMS message on the phone number. I created a second persona in Telegram called NosillaCast. My main persona is Podfeet, as you would expect. In doing this, I discovered that you can have Telegram logged into 2 accounts at the same time and flip back and forth between them. That was pretty cool. Well, next I had to get some people to agree to play with me in my fake account so I could record it. Steve and Stephen Getz are usually up for some fun, and they agreed, and my friend Diane was also excited to help. JF Brissett, my editor for Screencast Online, was just learning about Telegram, and he volunteered too. The tricky part, though, was to have them respond at the exact instant I was ready to record their action. So, I couldn't just sit there for 10 minutes rolling film, if you want to call it, or have them respond too quickly before I hit record. That's when I realized I could talk to myself. Remember, I've got 2 personalities, right? I would do this setup as NosillaCast on the Mac where I was recording, and then I could respond as Podfeet from my iPad. It worked really well. Maybe confusing for the viewers, but I was able to talk to myself and have things happen when I needed to record. But then I needed to demonstrate how well the group features worked, so I gathered the volunteers in a group while recording from my NosillaCast account. Then I sent them a message from my personal Podfeet account asking them to respond to an incoming request in some benign way. I didn't want any funny business, right? This was a crew that could do that. Anyway, the last tricky bit was trying to demonstrate how you can make audio and video calls within Telegram. I didn't think that would quite work talking to myself. Steve was the closest person at hand, so he agreed to actually be in the video tutorial as we chatted. I expected this to be challenging to pull off for all of the reasons above, but I think I did pull it off. If you'd like to see the teaser trailer, I did post a link in the show notes, but I have to warn you that becoming a member of Screencast Online is addictive. You get a free 14-day trial, but then you want to subscribe, or maybe it's a 7-day trial, I forget. Anyway, you get a free trial, but then you want to subscribe after you start watching the vast library of the back catalog. The other screencasters are all terrific, so be really careful when you go check out the free trial, because you will inevitably get sucked in.
So I posted the link to your little teaser video.
Uh-huh.
And it's not secure out of Libsyn. Is that standard? It's not a secure link?
Oh, did that wreck it? Maybe it is HTTPS.
Well, didn't
I can
wreck
change it.
I'm not sure it wrecked it. I'm just noticing that.
Yeah, no, let me...
Your site might not...
I just... you know that thing where it ends up in draft mode? It just did that again. Let me fix it. At least I thought to check it this time. Quick edit, change it back to published, and update. Okay, so now it should be secure now. Hopefully it still works. See if it
now
works.
the one that I posted probably doesn't work. But,
yeah, probably doesn't. But well, no, that link will still work.
Okay.
That's not the. I made a blog post. Why aren't you pointing to the blog post?
Oh, I've already done that. What I do is I pick some things out of the blog post of interest and post those.
Angry Beavers with Bill Murray. All right. Now they're arguing about GIFs and GIFs, so that's good. All right. No thanks. Stop showing me spam. All right. Okay, where are we now? Let's see. Oh, we get Jill from the North Woods.
Yes. You're up, Jill.
I won't be able to play all of this. This is such a great review. I have to admit, I might believe in VR now. Or AR.
We might have to
it's
take...
AR, right? Is it AR or VR, Jill? I think it's AR. Free trial, because you will inevitably get sucked in.
Hi, this is Jill from the North Woods. So there I am, in the midst of a pandemic, hoping that I wouldn't resort to sitting on the couch for the next 6 months. I exercise, but some days it can be like pulling teeth. It's even worse in the winter, when there's cold days that are short and you just can't get outside. By being stuck in home and not traveling, I also miss seeing the world. So I started looking at gaming consoles, but didn't want to encourage myself to sit more and become a gigantic pandemic potato. Then I saw my local store had Oculus Quest in stock. Nothing's in stock. This is too good to be true. Oculus Quest was released in May of 2019. It is a VR headset. It's different than the other ones in that it is standalone, meaning it doesn't need to be hooked to a computer to work. It can be tethered to a computer, but it doesn't need to be. There are some other brands out there that are more expensive, have better video standards, and can run more powerful games. A lot of them have to be tethered to another device, like a computer or a PlayStation 5. And some of the competition in that area is the HP Reverb, HTC Vive, and Valve Index. They all vary in applications, technical stats. Oculus slides right there in the great price, best game.
Okay. I'm afraid that Sandy's going to get an assist because she reminded me to do what Rick reminded me, which was put in a chapter mark.
A double reminder. And I have to know what that lady wearing the Oculus Rift is seeing. It's hilarious.
Oh, I think I saw that actually, and it was really good.
Was it Game of Thrones or some?
No, I think it was a roller coaster. Was it?
Oh, okay. Whatever it is, she was convinced she was there.
Oh yeah, there's a whole the actual video exists somewhere.
Does anyone know what the woman wearing the Oculus? That is an Oculus, right?
Yeah.
What she was watching?
Winning putt from the U.S.
Oh,
Open.
come on, JF. Good one, JF.
I'm afraid I'm going to tease you guys with Jill's review. I am good. That's all I'm going to let you have. I might have gone.
So you got your. I guess this would be a second chapter mark now.
Third, I got a PBS Telegram tutorial one.
Oh, right. There we go.
I'm being stupid. Come on.
Good job, Rick and Sandy.
Right. Yep, we get a definite assist here.
Sausage must go on.
Okay. All right, here we go. Muting Steve. Hang on just a second. Let me... Okay, here we go.
Few months that made lockdown so much fun and so healthy. And it lets me see the world right there from my own house. I'm really excited about the future of VR.
Oh, shoot. Jill, is this the wrong version? Ah! This is the wrong version, Jill. This is the original. Shoot. Give me the new one. Dagnabbit. Jill and I went back and forth. She did some changes. Oh, no, Jill. Where did you give it to me?
Where did you put it?
Well, there's that. Oh, Joe, you're going to kill me. Because this. Did you end up redoing the ending? Because this is the one that ends sort of on a cliffhanger. Telegram? Okay, I'm looking at Jill in Telegram. So actually, Telegram's chat is really good. Ah, there it is. Oculus Fix.wave. Oh, which I downloaded twice, apparently. So I'm doing great tonight. Okay, but at least I thought of it when I heard that. Okay.
Maybe some version tracking tool would help here.
Shut up, Steve. All right, so not that one, but Oculus Fix. All right. Wait a minute. Oh, Jill. Oh, no. No.
What does that mean?
What
One
is
for the
going
price
on?
and one for the ending.
Wait,
A second
what?
new one? Or as in a third one?
This is Oculus Fix is only 28 seconds long. One for the... Oh,
maybe she wanted you to edit.
Oh, no. Really?
She doesn't do edits.
Oh, yeah. No, shoot. I don't know what you mean. I don't know where... Okay, so there's one called Oculus Fix Wave at 8:52, and then at 8:59 you send another one called Oculus Fix.wave. That should have the where to buy and the prices. Oh, no, I thought you edited it. I do edits, JF says. So I need to put
not
in
on
the
the
real...
show, not on
so
the
the
live
problem
show.
is she had a mistake. Yeah, this isn't normally the way I do it. Yeah, this is going to be rough. If I knew where if I knew... So let me see. There's 2 edits? Okay, well, I'm going to... Hopefully this is the one with the price, because that's all I have time for. Okay. 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 All right. So I'm listening to Oculus Fix.wave, but that means I have to figure out where in the original text she had a mistake in the price. So, it's pretty close to the beginning. That's good. I should be able to find it. Let's see, because I can follow the text.
And some of the competition in that area is the HP Reverb, HTC Vive.
Well, the price is off by $100. I think I should fix it. Let's see.
Then I saw my local store had Oculus Quest in stock. Nothing's in stock.
There we go.
This is too good to be true.
She can't
Oculus
fix it
Quest
at the
was
end.
released in May of 2019.
Yeah, I have to fix it now.
It is a VR headset. It's different than...
Okay, where's
she
okay,
she
so
can't fix it at the end, Jill, because everything is serial and additive,
And some of the
so if she makes a change to the timeline, everything ripples.
The available...
Yeah, so I thought you sent
Is
me
the
the whole
HP
thing.
Reverb, HTC Vive,
Okay, we're getting
and Valve Index.
Ah! What just happened? Oh, you're killing me. I'm dying here. Okay, back to the front. Okay. This is why I don't edit live in the live show. I gotta find this.
Petition in that area, in the world of gaming, that isn't so bad.
Oh, there it is.
Oculus slides right there in the...
When does this assembled show air? It airs... Okay, why? Ugh. I'm using a keystroke from ScreenFlow, and it's not working well in... I'm supposed to be doing Command Plus. There we go.
The available storage on the Oculus...
Oh, dear. Dear. Okay, concentrate.
It is a VR headset.
Okay, no. Okay.
The video resolution...
I'm trying to read and figure out... Wait, that's way... Okay, hang on.
to be. There are some other brands
There's some other brands.
out
Okay.
there more expensive. Then I saw my local store had Oculus Quest in stock. Nothing's in stock.
Okay. Where did you say this?
It can be tethered to a computer. There are some other brands or PlayStation 5 is the HP Reverb, HTC Vive, and
go.
Valve Index. They all vary in apps range. The price was $299.
There it is. Got it. Okay, split. Slide. Insert. Then figure out... No, I guess I better insert. So this is 28 seconds long, so I got to make sure I move this at least 28 seconds. There we go. And now I'm going to put this one in. Okay, and cut it to there. This is why I love JF as my editor.
Best games and solid performance range. Price was $399 for the 64 gigabyte version, or $499 for the 128 gigabyte version. In the world of gaming systems, Amazon and Walmart have third-party sellers who raise the prices by hundreds of dollars.
Okay, so this one, the original, didn't say where to buy it.
The price was $299 for the 64 gigabyte and $399 for the 128 gigabyte version. In the world of gaming, that isn't so bad.
Ah, okay. That's good. That's good. Okay, so this didn't have... Wait, what? That isn't so bad was here.
Gaming, that isn't so bad.
There you go. Oh, it's okay to give... I mean, it isn't... I'd rather you do your own edits, but the problem is not knowing it was an edit. You probably told me, but I was in the middle of doing something else and didn't pay attention. So let's see.
Have third-party sellers who raise the prices by hundreds of dollars. The available storage on the Oculus does not really need to be bigger unless you have a larger family of users.
There we go. I hope this is right. Should I check it? Nah. Okay.
So was there a... Did you get the ending as well? I missed that. I was looking somewhere else.
I didn't... I don't know which one's the ending.
Is the ending important, Jill? The ending edit? You said there were two?
The only thing is that she just sort of ended, chopped off, and I asked her to re-record that, but I don't know which one it is. It might... I don't think I can...
Okay.
Can't do it. Not that important. Here we go.
Got it.
All right. Thank you, Steve. All right. Where am I? Where's my notes? Nope. Not that one. The other one. There we go.
It lets me see the world right there from my own house. I'm really excited about the future of VR.
I think this is fantastic, Jill. I love this. Okay, Tom Merritt is going to crack up at what I'm about to say. I believe in VR and I want an Oculus Quest now. That sounds so fun. I want to go to the International Space Station. I want to watch rockets launch and go to crazy places and bike ride and walk around my home neighborhood. This sounds really, really fun. And the fact that you're doing it for exercise and it's working, that is fantastic. And now Tom is going to make fun of me for the rest of time. All right. So that is a reference to the fact that I was on his show once, or he was on mine, I forget. And I said, I don't believe in VR. And he said, well, it does exist, Allison.
And if you actually adopt it based on this, you won't hear the end of it.
Oh, right. How do you spell Oculus? O-C-U-L... US. Oculus Quest.
That sounds right.
Okay.
Did you get
but now I have to...
chapter mark?
No chapter mark yet, because I need to talk about this. However, before I do, I should let you know that after Jill's review was complete and published, Tom's Guide posted an article that says that the Oculus Quest 2 release date was just leaked, and it talks about when it's going to be coming, supposedly arriving in September. So at the very least, maybe you can get a regular Oculus for less money when the Oculus 2 is released. Maybe that's why they were available, or maybe you want to look at the Oculus Quest 2 when it comes out. But stay tuned, and I'm sure Jill will probably buy one of those and tell us about it too, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, I want an Oculus Quest, and that's the end of it. Okay. Now I'll do a chapter mark. Okay. Get rid of that. I'll get rid of that. I probably started a little quick after her. Let's hear.
I'm really excited about the future of VR.
Well, I think this is fantastic. Oh, no, that worked. That worked.
Yeah, I think that worked.
Okay, now what am I going to talk about? What's that?
That worked.
Now you can have a chapter mark, Steve. And Rick.
Rick's on top of it.
It's
You'll get
easier
good
not
marks
to
from
believe
Kevin.
in gods you can actually see. You got to give Sandy the assist, though, Steve.
I did. I'm going to send Kevin a report card.
A full report?
You both will get high marks.
All right, good. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is going to be a long one. Sit back and enjoy. This is for this article would have been titled Scan Photo Organization for the Anal Retentive, but I was afraid that wasn't a nice word, so I didn't. I called it Scan Photo Organization for the Fastidious. All right.
That'll work.
Be a long one. Here we go. Send him sausage, Sandy says. All right, that's good. Back in the old days, I took a fair amount of photos. Nothing like the number of photos that we take today. I can't believe it. I can't say fair amount, can I, Steve? That should have been fair number.
Of photos, yes.
Yep. All right.
It's more correct. Number is more correct.
All right. I'm going to change it in the show notes too. Fair.
I mean, I don't think you'd get called on it, but it would bother me.
Yes. All right. I need to actually push that to the blog or I'll forget. And then it's going to disappear on me. I think. Yep. And then I got to go back here. There it is. All right. That's one of Steve's pet peeves, his grammar pet peeves. All right. Back in the old days, I took a fair number of photos. Nothing like the number of photos we take today, of course, but more than most people. I know you'll be shocked to hear this, but I very carefully organized my photos into photo albums all labeled by date. I did not learn this from my mother, just so you know. The Pod Mom's photo organization technique could be encapsulated into the phrase, put them in a basket. Seriously, they were just thrown in a basket. Well, eventually I started taking digital photos, but I still printed them and put them into my photo albums. But finally, there came a time when I realized this was no longer going to be practical. I began taking care of my photos on my Mac, first with the application Aperture, and eventually Apple Photos. Of course, I kept my photos in order in those applications, just like I did in my physical photo albums. I create a folder for the year, then folders for each quarter, and finally albums with the year, month, and date of the event that had been captured. Steve decided recently that it was time to start scanning in the photo albums. He started with a flatbed scanner, and it was clear that this was going to take absolutely forever. For Christmas last year, I bought him a high-speed photo scanner, the Epson FF680W. It's $600 at Best Buy right now. I'm not a fan of Epson as a rule, but this scanner will do photos at 1 per second at 300 dpi. I'm not thrilled with the quality of the scans, but with a project this daunting, the trick is to actually get it done, so the speed is going to win out here over quality. The best way to photo scan has been a topic for the ages, but that's not actually what I want to talk to you about today. I thought it might be interesting to you, and would definitely be cathartic to me, to describe in detail the process that we're going through after Steve has done the hard labor of scanning in the images. The problem to be solved is how to get all of the images into my iCloud photo library across all of my devices. I want the album sorting to mirror what I had in the physical albums, and I want separate photo albums for the events within the physical albums. I also want the dates of the images in my photos library to be pretty close to the real dates when the events actually took place. That doesn't sound too hard, does it? Well, it is taking the diligence and fastidiousness of two super organized people to pull this off. The pre-work for this task will be our first order of business. Steve is scanning in the images to our Synology, so we both have access to all of the images. Each of the physical albums has a nice little label on it that shows the date range, something like August 1983 to February 1984. Steve creates a folder on the Synology that matches that date range on the original physical album, but he formats it so that the folders will stay in order. You can't say AUG 1983 to Feb 1984. They won't stay in order as you add more albums. So he's creating the albums as Family Picks 1983-08 to 1984-02. All right, that's the first organizational thing. When he pulls the photos out of the physical album, he then organizes them into little piles by event. He sets up the scanner profile to put the physical album date range as the title of each image with an index number appended that increments each. Okay, too many stumbles. He puts with an index. Am I missing anything? Who brought the pizza? It's not really a databasey thing. Plus, we need to be able to concatenate, Mike. Jeez, don't be ridiculous. All right. Make sure I'm in the right spot. He then organizes them into little piles by event. I didn't know it could do that. He set up the scanner profile to put in the physical album date range as the title of each image with an index number appended that increments with each image. Each of the events gets prepended with an index number as well. Then he records all of this in a Google Sheet. For example, there's an event called Cats, Cave, and Afghan. The Google Sheet tells me that there are 12 photos in this album and the sequence numbers are 197 to 208. Obviously, such precious memories must be preserved in that order. Now, you might think this is a wasted effort because those sequence numbers don't mean anything. But it turns out that if we're ever to keep these photos in order when they get into Apple Photos, the sequence numbers will become critical to achieving that objective. Plus, we're engineers, so what else are we going to do? Of course, we're going to put sequence numbers. Now that Steve has a column for what will eventually become the album name, like Cats, Cave, and Afghan, I need to add a leading sequence number to the album so that the albums will be easily sortable when they get over into Apple Photos. In the Google Sheet, I created a column entitled 2-digit prefix. I put 01 for the first album, but then Google Sheets changed it to the plain number 1. Well, that's problematic because without the leading 0, sorting isn't going to work properly because 10 is going to be ahead of 1. Anyway, or maybe right after 1. But anyway, you want it to say 01. So I selected the cell that now has a 1 in it, and I chose Format, Number, More Formats, Custom Number Formats, and I typed in 00 so that I would always have a leading 0. Now that sounds messy, but I only had to do that one time in the whole spreadsheet. I selected that cell with the 01 in it, and I grabbed the bottom corner and dragged down, and that gave me 01, 02, 03. It did a fill down. Okay. Now all I've got, though, is a column with 2-digit indexes in it. What I need is that 2-digit index to be prepended to the name of the album that Steve has so carefully handcrafted. That's easy peasy in any spreadsheet program with the concatenate command. By the way, the only problem I have with concatenate is I misspell it every time. I always spell it concatenate, so I have to type it twice. But anyway, concatenate basically means to smash a couple of things together. So let's assume that the index 01 is in cell A1, and the album name, Cats, Cave, and Afghan, is in cell 2. All we have to do to concatenate those two things together is say concatenate, parentheses, A1, comma, and then you put a space in quotes, so it'll put a space between the two names, and then comma, A2. So that'll give us 01, Cats, Cave, and Afghan in our cell A3. That sounds tedious and difficult, and it's just annoying in audio probably, but if you see the equation, it's really easy. Once I'd written that little concatenate command, though, I was able to paste it into every tab of the spreadsheet, do a fill down, and I was done. It took me maybe 5 minutes to replicate to all of the album titles that he's created. Now we are ready to start fixing to make a plan to import images into photos. Let's review what we've got now. We've got a folder on the Synology with all of the images taken from a single physical photo album. All of the images have a 3-digit prefix. Then we've got a spreadsheet that tells us which images by that 3-digit prefix go into which albums, and we've got a nicely formatted album name with our 2-digit prefix. Boy, I'm not even following this. This is hard, but stay with me. The folder on the Synology, though, doesn't yet know about the events. It's just one giant folder with literally 250 photos in it. We need to create subfolders with the album names. Here's where a clipboard manager, like my favorite, Copy M, which used to be Copy M Paste, but now it's called Copy M. Anyway, Copy M comes in super handy because in the spreadsheet, all I did was click on each album name with its fancy 2-digit index that was prepended, and I hit Command C to copy each name. I just went copy, 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 copy. Then in the Finder folder for the big album, I hit Command N, and then I use Copy M to drop in the name of an album, repeating the new folder dance 18 more times. So new folder, paste, new folder, paste, new folder, paste. All right. I've got 19 subfolders, and that's my 19 different events in this physical album. They're named so they stay in order because they had that prepended 2-digit prefix. Referring back to Steve's data in the spreadsheet, I can now drag images, say, 1 to 98 into the album 01 Sailing Trip to Santa Cruz Island. I repeat for the next 18 albums. So remember, they were just in a giant stack, but now I need them into these little folders so that when they eventually end up in photos, they will end up in albums. When we go to the penultimate step, moving these albums into Apple Photos, you're going to see why adding that 2-digit index to the front of every album name was critical to our success. All right, finally, we're ready to drag the images into Apple Photos. I conducted several failed experiments to try to find the least annoying way to get these images into photos while preserving the structure of images inside event names sorted by their index and in a folder representing the original physical album. Turns out the least annoying, and yet still really annoying way to do this is to simply drag in the top level folder for that date range physical album that we've been working on. This creates a top level folder inside Apple Photos with the date range of the physical album. But inside it, it creates folders for each of the events, and inside the folders are the albums with the same event names. We don't want those intermediate folders. We just want albums inside the top level folder. So one of the dumb things about Apple the reason we need these to be in albums and not folders is because in Apple Photos, you can't search by a photo name okay, that's 5. Too many times. So one of the dumb things about, there we go. Let's try that again. Get a drink and say hi to Steve. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Did you go off script?
All
right.
Well, in all my fumbling, yes.
Okay.
Let's see. Does your scanner do slides? Oh, hers.
No.
We
Does
borrowed
not do
a slide
slides.
scanner from our buddy Ron. That was even more annoying, I think. It was horrible. Inside the top level folder. Okay. All right. One of the annoying things. Scroll to the wrong thing. We don't want those intermediate folders. We just want albums inside the top level folder. The main reason we don't want those folders, and okay, doing it again. We really need the photos in albums by those album names because it turns out in Apple Photos, you can't search by a folder name. So how am I ever going to be able to find Cats, Cave, and Afghan if I can't search by that album name? So I really need these photos into albums, but I want to get rid of all of these folders. So here we have 19 subfolders with 19 albums in them by the same name. I have to painstakingly open each folder, drag the identically named album from within the folder up a level, and then I have to delete each of the now empty folders. To my chagrin, there is no keystroke for that action to delete those subfolders. There's not even a menu for it, so you can't add that action in a keyboard shortcut in System Preferences. Instead, to delete a folder in Apple Photos, you have to right-click, choose Delete Folder, and answer the confirmation dialog. The other thing that's interesting to note is that when you drag the images into Photos, that action happens asynchronously, so the folders are all out of order. And that's why we so painstakingly added an index number at the beginning of each event name. Now we know how to get them back in order. You just drag them back into order. If you open an album, you'll also notice that the images in the album are out of order as well. But luckily, since the title of each image also has an index number, we can choose View, Sort, Keep Sorted by Title 19 times because every album is out of order. This to me is by far the most tedious part of the process, and it took me several tries to make it this easy. All right, we've got one more step to go, and it's actually a really fun step. But at this stage of my process, I put in an important step. It's actually in my process diagram here. I allow myself 10 to 15 minutes to stop working and actually enjoy the photos that Steve has scanned and I've just imported. I haven't seen many of these photos in a decade or more because they've been buried in these non-searchable albums. Not only is it a walk down memory lane for me, but I choose a few photos to send to friends and family that I think they might enjoy. All right, break time is over. Let's do the last fun step. Remember, we want the photos to have the correct date. So we've now got the photos in albums. They're organized by date range of the original physical album, and that's great. But let's say I want to search for a photo I know was, around 1983. If I go to the Years tab in Apple Photos, all of these images have the date they were scanned, not the date they were taken. The photos also don't know where they were taken, and Apple doesn't provide any way to change the metadata with Apple Photos. But a wonderful application called Hashphotos. I'll get that yet. This is hard for me to follow, even, and I wrote it. But a wonderful application called Hashphotos for iOS and iPadOS from BeyondF.com can do this for us. I did a full review of Hashphotos a couple of years ago where I sang its many virtues. It does a zillion things. The key thing to understand is that Hashphotos, after you give it permission, has full access to your Apple Photos library. This means that changes that we'll be making in Hashphotos to the date and location of the images will be reflected back in Apple Photos. In Hashphotos, we have the same left sidebar as in Apple Photos, and so we can see my albums and navigate to the structure I've been describing. I'm working on 1984 photos right now as I'm telling you about this process, and the physical album that was scanned goes from March to September 1984. My goal is to make sure that the images in these little event albums will show up in the right year and have at least their month be within the range of March to September. If I can tell by the album when it actually occurred, like maybe it was somebody's birthday or a specific holiday, I can put in the actual correct date. But most of the time, I'm not going to have any clue about the real date. I'm not going to know maybe even the month. For example, I've got an album that was taken the day my friend Eric got his kittens, Ozzie and Harriet. And shockingly, I don't remember what month and day that was 36 years ago. If I make every event the same exact date, like just say, okay, they're all March 1st, 1984, that's not going to work because they're not going to stay in the order they were when they were in the physical album. Because remember, in all photos, they are only in order by date. So I had to come up with a methodical, if somewhat arbitrary method to give each event a unique date. Since this physical album starts in March of 1984, my solution is to have the first event album be dated March 1st, 1984. All of the photos in the second album will be March 2nd, 1984. That keeps them in the right order and at least has some logic to it. It sort of falls apart when I actually know the date, but I just start numbering them after that date and it works fine. So let's see how Hashphotos can set our dates. First, tap the event album in the left sidebar. The sidebar will slide out of the way, revealing the images within and their dates. I can see that Steve scanned in Eric's kitten photos on April 21st, 2020. We want to select all of the images in this event album, and to start this process, in the upper right, we're going to tap on the Select button. At this point, I could individually tap on every single image, or I could tap and drag to select, but there's a new Select button in the upper right, and tapping that selects all 14 of the photos. Now, all of the photos have a red check mark on them, and the share icon, that little box with the up arrow in the bottom left, has become available to me, indicated by changing from gray to red. The share menu has the typical options to share via your messaging applications like Telegram and Slack, and all of the social media applications you use. But below that, we've got a list of options that are specific to hash photos. This app is really capable, so you'll see things like find similar photos, which is great for getting duplicates. You can create a slideshow, create animated GIFs, and even make cute little film strips. But the item we really care about is called Adjust Date/Time. When selected, Adjust Date/Time gives a pop-up that has fields to change the year, month, and date. And then we need to tap Adjust in the upper right of the pop-up. At first, the album will still show the 2020 date, but if you go back to the albums view and then back into the album, you will see the new date. If by some chance you know the actual location at which the photos were taken, hit select twice again to reselect all the images, and then in the share menu this time, choose set location. You can move a map around or do a search for the city or the exact location. The nice thing is it keeps a running list of the recent locations you've entered, which is pretty handy if you've got a lot of photos that are often taken in the same place. Geotagging is so fun and easy with hash photos. The process to change the date took me a lot of words to describe, but in reality it goes like this. Tap an album, select, share, adjust time, type a date, adjust. That's it. That's a whole album, just done. Takes me maybe 15 seconds total to change the date on each album. It's actually kind of fun. You can go over to Apple Photos on your iPad or iPhone nearly immediately, and you'll see that the dates have indeed been changed in Apple Photos. There's one final step I like to do just for my own sanity. I go back to the Synology and I mark the album I just finished doing with a green tag. I even created a keystroke for it using Automator. That is literally the only automated step in this entire process. Well, you may think after hearing all the work I did here that my mother was onto something with her throw them all in a basket method of organization. Or perhaps Steve and I have inspired you to be as detailed as we are in our photo organization. In any case, Steve and I are having a blast as we go through these photos, seeing memories from way back that were buried in dusty old albums I never opened.
Memory lane.
Save. Chapter mark. Take a drink. Okay, I'll do the take a drink. Ooh. Watching a YouTube while eating my lunch and it finished. When it finished, there were my recommendations. Wait a minute. Oh, they like that photo? Nice stash there, Steve.
Yeah. It seems to have gotten more blonde over the years.
Yes, blonde. That's exactly it.
Kind of like my hair.
All right, I should probably do the chapter mark. So if you're wondering, I am not going to do the Slack conversation here. I'm going to save that because we have too much content. All right, I'm not going to do a chapter mark, but remind me. I am going to do a...
You're not going to do this?
Do what? What'd you just do? Oh, I gave him a note. Because Steve, I tell him...
She seems to think that I pay attention to Post-its. And the fact is, I do. Post-its seem to work well
look
for
at
me.
those cakes.
Oh,
Sorry,
now
Steve,
I'm hungry.
you're talking
Thanks,
about that.
John. Oh.
Are you sending me a cake? Rick says to do it. Sandy says, this is great. Sandy's on Team Rick tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to mute Steve while I do a little
They're
ad.
teaming up, definitely.
Uh-oh. I talk a lot about how Patreon is a great way to support the Podfeed podcast, and it is. But there's another great way, and that's through one-time donations at PayPal. This week, both Janet and Christoph opened their wallets and sent over their hard-earned cash to show their support for the work we do here. I can't thank them enough, and if you'd like to be a hero just like them, please head on over to podfeed.com/PayPal and show your support. Okay, now I'll do a chapter mark. Cake is my weakness. Oh, that was such a funny movie. There's a sequel to that one, right? Time for security bits. Steve, you're talking with, and you're on mute.
So I thought that was the same movie. Aren't they the same actors?
Aren't there two of them, though?
There are two,
no, but I think there's...
I thought they brought back the same
version.
cast.
They did. I just don't know whether that quote. I think that's from the second sequel. Two sequels.
That's
Cake or cheesecake? Jumanji. Yeah, those are funny. The GIF is from the first movie. GIF. Okay, security bits. GIF. And now we are going to find out whether Bart... I think Bart may have finally fixed his audio.
Ooh, let's check this out.
We're gonna look... Okay, we're going to bring in mine first. Then we'll bring in Bart's. Go see how this looks. Let's see. Oh, it's funny. We actually talk over each other, but let's see. Why are you typing, Steve? You have speaking privileges.
Oh.
You're funny. All right. Let's see. Option T. Let's see how it looks, Bart. Oh, I think he did it.
Oh, yeah. That audio looks pretty good.
This, let's see. This one is Bart's. Yep.
Yeah.
He had gotten it so it wasn't peaking. Yeah.
What did he do?
Let me split. So we don't know. But I told him he wasn't peaking. But last week he wasn't peaking, but there was noise. So I had him. He did a couple things. He ejected his internal spinning drive, and then did the record. And he adjusted his aerodynamics processor, and it looks like it worked.
I don't know why the drive would affect, unless there was background noise he was fighting, but...
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He had noise.
Okay.
So if he was getting a vibration from the internal drive...
Could be it.
All right, let's hear how this sounds. Your support. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Security Bits with Bart Shots. I heard you had sunshine today, Bart. What's up with that?
It's weird. It's wonderful, though. A little bit of late September summer. It was 22 degrees Celsius this afternoon.
Bart sent a screenshot of Ireland with no rain over it.
It's great because I have a wonderful radar app, and I was like zooming out, going, there has to be rain here somewhere, or is the app broken? Maybe the radar's broken. And I had to zoom all the way out to the north of Scotland to find some rain. It was great.
Oh, that makes me so happy. He sounds fantastic. Yay!
Yeah, he does sound good.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were clapping because of the no rain in Ireland.
No,
it was the audio recording.
It's been like a year. I've been going, you're peaking. And he hasn't been able to figure it out. We did a bunch of messing around, and I think we got it. Okay, Alan, what is that GIF?
I think JF would be proud.
Yep. I think he would be pleased. He sounds good. Yeah, we were. I can't blame him. Somehow the recording I'm getting of him was not peaking, but his was peaking. And the only thing I can think of is that he had trouble with. He's got an old iMic, so he's not hearing it. But I don't know why. I still don't know why it was.
That's pretty old technology. That's well over 10 years, right? 15?
Yeah, it's like 12 maybe. Oh, an Ireland flag waving. That's what it is. Okay. Speaking French with Sandy right now. Oh, that's right. Oh, Jeff and Sandy are connecting in French.
Did Sandy teach French?
Yeah. Yeah, she's a French teacher.
Cool.
That is so cool. Make sure I get the end here.
So you stay secure.
Telegram in French.
Telegram in French. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh, that's so good. And they're playing in Telegram. Why did I not know this?
That's why you come to the chat room, JF.
That's right. How many GIFs have gone by today?
Is it true that...
Truman Show again, Steve.
Yeah, we have a couple
and
now.
Alan is Mr. Bean.
Does Discord have a limit on how much data it can you can post? Something happened. Oh, I think it starts... The messages off the tail end start falling off.
Okay, all of this is hilarious. I just keep Alan's Mr. Bean. Alistair says my microphone was purchased in 2006 and people keep saying I sound great. Alistair, I would like you to make a recording using a paper cup and a string, and I bet you would sound good. Oh, now we have to watch Truman Show, Steve. That's what's on deck tonight. All right. Muting Steve to bring us home. Oh, that's right. They're both in Southern Nevada, too. Well, that's it. Wait, Steve, you're muted. Sorry, I muted you. What was that?
Just a few miles apart, right? Both near Las Vegas. Well,
see,
one in.
All our good friends speak French and are in Southern Nevada. That's what it is. All right. If I got a ball string long enough to go to New Zealand to California. Okay, I got to stop screwing around and finish the recording. This is too much fun. All right. Bring me back something. Okay, stop it, you guys. Stop being entertaining. All right, here we go. All right, well, that's going to wind us up for this week. I got to tell you, you guys got to come to the live show. They have been hilarious tonight. The GIFs that are going by, the conversations have been hysterical, but I'll tell you in just a moment how to do that. You must not forget to send in your dumb questions. There haven't been any dumb questions in a long time. Dumb questions are those things that you figure everybody else knows the answer to, but you're just the only one who doesn't, because there's always somebody who really does have the same question. So send me your dumb questions, your comments and suggestions. You can always do that by emailing me at allison@podfeed.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at podfeed. We've talked about this before. Everything good starts with podfeed.com. You want to do a Patreon, a weekly, monthly donation? podfeed.com/Patreon. You want to be like Christoph and Janet? You just want to do PayPal? podfeed.com/PayPal. You want to join our Slack community? podfeed.com/Slack. You like Facebook still? podfeed.com/Facebook. And if you want to join in the fun of that live show that I've been telling you about with all these silly GIFs going by, head on over to podfeed.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCast castaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Whew, there we go. A song about the world's largest ball of string. Weird Al. Oh, there is. I love Weird Al. The world's largest ball of twine was in the movie Michael. Does that count? Why can't I hear you, Steve?
Because I muted.
You're not muted. There you go. You're double muted.
Yes.
What were you saying? Did we miss anything brilliant?
As was the largest frying pan, world's largest frying pan.
Yes. Is there a French
and there was
channel
another
for a Slack
large
site?
item. Well, I guess they were looking at the building in Chicago, and it had I don't know if it wasn't the world's largest. I think it may have been the tallest in the U.S., second tallest in the U.S. for some period.
At the time?
At the time.
Well, that's how far they made it. I think they might have been trying to go farther. This is a sad ending, but it was good.
Yeah. Well.
All right, hang on.
It picked up.
Let me list this real quick. Stay subscribed. There we go. 1 hour and 28 minutes.
Woo!
And it's 6:03.
Yeah, so, good timing.
JF, if you want to be impressed, I want you to watch what time the show is posted. So it's 6:03. I will ping you, JF, when the show is posted if I remember. But it is pretty it's pretty quick. It's pretty quick. So I'm gonna cheat and get Safari ready to go. But now is the time that I think we normally say goodbye.
It is.
Cheers to everybody. And Jill, don't worry about the missing piece. I hope that doesn't make you sad that I was freaking out. That's just me freaking out.
It will turn out just fine in the podcast.
Yep. All right. The podcast is exported from Hindenburg, so the counter starts now. Knock us off, Steve.
No, now.
Now.
All right.
That's a Brian Regan joke. Good night, Podfeet. Goodbye.